Thank you very much, Honorable Minister Sir. Just like to inform the Honorable Minister Sir that ASSOCHAM and the ministry, his ministry has a MOU signed for the last 5 years that to introduce the SME helpline, and Honorable Minister Sir along with the ministry we have been organizing series of conferences all over the country and particularly in the small towns, because the objective of our holding the interactive session, interactive conferences all over the country is to help and create awareness among the SMEs. We have also established a macro industries and cluster foundation in the chamber, and through that foundation we have been organizing series of programs for the cluster development all over the country. Even tomorrow we are holding one in Srinagar, and the objective of all these programs along with your ministry is to help the SMEs to be graduating. In this connection, I would like to mention that the SMC and the MCX have already signed a MOU with ASSOCHAM to be providing them the technology and financial support to the SME. So this is what I wanted to inform the Honorable Minister and His Excellency
here today and present to you an industry perspective on creating opportunities through innovation and entrepreneurship. The company that I head is one such example which has been an MSME, is grown in the last 5 years from a small to medium enterprise. And we have lived some of these experiences because our journey has been one that has been based on innovation. Innovation has led us into many new frontiers. Being a technology company, it has brought us into competition with global giants, and it has helped us in creating differentiation and satisfying consumer needs. I would like to start my presentation with sharing with you the life cycle of a startup. And typically, a vision or an idea or a concept translates into value creation through a process which is very similar to what we call innovation today. The two important stages in the life of an MSME is really in the incubation stage, where the value creation takes place, and then proceeds to a validation phase where this concept is validated by testing it through his consumers and businesses, and then he moves to the monetization phase, which actually takes him to scale this innovation through his entrepreneurial and business skills. There are very many challenges that an entrepreneur faces in this journey. It is almost like war on all fronts in this phase of growth. But it's important to say that any innovation that creates maximum impact has its legs to carry through the whole cycle of innovation. The impact that you create on your consumers, the impact that you create in the value creation process, through the value creation process, helps take this innovation forward and helps the entrepreneur actually brave the other difficulties that he faces in terms of resourcing, the growth pains that he faces in his journey. The significance of entrepreneurship is, of course, as the Minister said, drives economic growth, and we are all looking forward to decades of growth which will primarily be done through this process of entrepreneurship. And India stands on the forefront of entrepreneurship and a business system and a legal system and a contract system that is very transparent and enables young people to actually become entrepreneurs and grow. It's not about wealth creation alone, it is more about value creation and employment generation as far as our country is concerned. And it is entrepreneurship that is really the key to various social, economic, and of course environmental challenges that we are today facing. But traditionally, entrepreneurship has been facilitated by informal ecosystems and independent business networks as far as India is concerned. But now we see the formal system coming into place, the ministry itself through various initiatives, venture capitalists, banks. There are a large number of supporters to this ecosystem which have now come forward and are increasingly interested in helping the entrepreneur take his innovation forward and live his dream and make it successful. Also the economic liberalization that has happened in the country and the whole globalization has again contributed to making the entrepreneur, giving the entrepreneur the business space that he requires, the business space that he requires to present himself, the business space that is required to grow. India today ranks second globally to fastest growing technology firms. About 60 firms in the Deloitte Technology Fast 500 list from Asia Pacific came from India. And it is true not only of the technology sector but several other sectors where entrepreneurship-led companies are making a mark on a global scale. If you look at the entrepreneurial pyramid here, you will find that the traditional sectors have been agriculture and others, trading services, traditional sectors, notwithstanding because we have a large legacy and a whole rural population to support. But the emerging sectors for entrepreneurship that have emerged in the last few years, IT, finance, insurance, business services, construction, community, and personal services, supply chain management, transportation, storage and communication, etc. So there are a number of fields that are getting added, and of course now you see other service functions and services delivery and e-commerce, etc. coming out into the open for entrepreneurs to take the field and create new organizations. I think there are two elements of entrepreneurship. One is the entrepreneurship trait that is driven through two major things that I believe are the drivers. One is a vision of where he's headed. The other two are perhaps the two P's, which are passion and perseverance. And these are qualities which entrepreneurs inherently have and develop as they grow their businesses. The others are based on innovation, the idea that he creates, the value that the idea brings to the market, the impact that it has on the consumer, and the business model that he pursues. If you look at evolution of innovation itself across the globe, the first era really was more about inventors. It was the lone inventor, it was the Edison, it was the Wright brothers, or the Ford, who were inventors really. In the second era, which really was a large period from 1950 to 1970, innovation became corporatized. The large corporations were driving innovation, and they were the pioneers of creating new products and services which they could take to a global market. We have seen now in the third era, which is really roughly 1970 to 2000, that this is changing rapidly. Global organizations don't dominate the scene today for innovation. It is entrepreneur-led innovation either within organizations or outside organizations. And I dare say that the innovation outside organizations is now far more than within large organizations. So therefore, the entrepreneur is typically the MSME profile, and it is his field that innovations are being generated every day. The fourth era, as we see, is really innovations which are coming not just in product services but in business models, in ways of taking things to market. And these are again a new generation of innovations which will lead to further entrepreneurship models and successful companies. Innovation has been described as disturbing the status quo or creative destruction, but at the end of the day, it's a creative process. And innovation can be in processes, services, markets, quality, product, solution, price, cost, and a number of other areas. So innovation is not really the purview of only creating new products and services. It pervades other areas of business where innovation is possible. Both incremental innovation and fundamental innovation, as disturbing the breaking the status quo or breakthrough innovations, are both really the realm of the innovation domain. If we often look at it, innovation mostly happens during a period of rapid change, and India is going through one such period of very rapid change. And the rapidly changing environment actually gives a great opportunity for innovation and entrepreneurship. As they say, fortunes are won and lost during moments of transition. India is going through a transition, and this transition will really create fortunes for a number of entrepreneurs who actually use innovation as a vehicle to take their products to market. In conclusion, I would say that India needs about 10 to 15 million jobs per year. These are largely not going to come out of large enterprises. It is small businesses, it is entrepreneurs entrepreneur-led businesses that are going to create these jobs and are going to keep an entire new workforce engaged and part of the economic prosperity that this country is going to generate. So, innovation, I would say again, is the key to this entrepreneurship model. Indians by nature are innovative, they are experimentative, and there's a huge young generation out there who is prepared to take the risks that an entrepreneur normally takes. And in fact, innovation can be considered really as a DNA of entrepreneurship. And going forward, I believe that entrepreneurship through innovation will play a driving role in the economic prosperity of this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ajay Singh. Now the next speaker is Mr. Tilak Raj Mazalia, who is the Deputy Managing Director, CIPY. May I request him